So after some challenges today, let's put it like that, we're finally live, and with what Jet and I hope to be a reoccurring new member of the show. Fingers crossed. Anyway, guys, hi, my name's Paul, and this is our weekly Geekish Khan live. For those geeks out there, you know exactly what we say when we say Geekish Khan. So today we're going to discuss the recently released Snyder Cut of Justice League, which I think, I personally I'm very excited about. But Jet and Crix are the experts; they know far more than me. So, guys, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we can get into it.
My name is Jet, and I'm a regular here with Paul.
Crix.
Crix here again. Will be regular, hopefully. But
Yay!
Marvel fan here, so I'm probably gonna make it under a perspective of a Marvel fan.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be right.
Crix, it's great to have you back on, and I personally, I don't know about Jack, because I don't know if Jack likes you or not, but I'm very pleased that you said you wanted to come back on the show, particularly to discuss this, because I know this is something that is close to particularly Jet's heart as well as mine, and you're coming from it from a Marvel perspective, so this is going to be good fun. So let's delve straight into it. Jet, I'll come to you, mate, first. So the Snyder Cut was released about, I think, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. It's a long film, you know. It's a good 4 hours long, and I wonder if they've done that because they wanted to get the cut out there so that people weren't waiting. Because you can, when you watch the film, you can actually split it quite easily into 3 films, 2 maybe, but certainly 3 films, right? But what are your thoughts, mate? What's your kind of takeaway? Did you enjoy it?
Oh yes, I did enjoy it because, in fact, you can ask Crix when the Justice League, the cinematic version came out. I was a bit disappointed, and I was able to get a copy of the script, the leaked script of this Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and I sent it to her. But it's not the entire script, but just portions of it where the major changes are, and that's where it started fans clamoring for the Snyder Cut. In fact, like what you said, it could have been like 2 or 3 films. It was really planned out by Zack Snyder to come out in 2 films.
So it was 2 films, was it originally?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, as a DC fan, because I know you're a DC fan, I think if you were to cut you, you'd bleed Batman or Superman, which is absolutely fine.
Batman,
right?
yeah.
Batman, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Batman. Do you think the Snyder Cut did justice, and do you like the story arc that was teased? Because there's a big story arc there, right? There's a big story arc.
Yeah, actually, I did like the way he told the story, and how the characters were really identified, and their origins, or what their part is in the Justice League. And because, for example, Flash wasn't really given justice in, there's no pun intended, Justice League. Like, he was just fast in the cinematic version, but here you will be able to see that he was able to break the time continuum, and reverse time for them to revive Superman. So those things, the importance of Flash, of Cyborg. So it was neatly done, and it was really well written by Zack Snyder.
I think you beat me to my next question in terms of the importance of cyborg, right, or cyborg, I should say, because I think, as you rightly said, in the first cut, his role or his importance in the DC was clearly underplayed, because he's going to be, he's a huge hero when you look at his abilities, right? So again, along with Flash, were you happy with how they brought the Cyborg story a little bit more into it and brought his character a little bit more to life and provided his backstory?
Yep. I was very happy with it. In fact, that was the script that was leaked. It's about Cyborg. How his character was being developed in the script by Zack Snyder. That was the part of the script that was leaked, which I shared with Crix then, and we were discussing like this could have been a better film if they just let Zack Snyder do what he was doing
Supposed to do. Yeah.
with Justice League.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. Crix, before I come to you, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film, and it managed to keep me entertained for those for the full shift. Yes, there was times when I was going for a drink or I was looking at my phone, but it's certainly 90% of it I was engaged. And I think it's important to mention to our viewers out there that the reason we're focusing on Flash and Cyborg is that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have already had their standalone movies. So this was really the first chance that you got to meet the likes of Flash and Cyborg, and I hope we're going to see more of it, because I think Cyborg is a wonderful character, and I think, and Flash, in terms of, yes, he's a great character, but I really like the actor that plays Flash in DC. I think he's a great actor. Obviously he's been in Harry Potter before, but I just think he brings the right type of joviality with the side of seriousness that you need as the Flash. So yeah, really impressed. Right, Crix, don't kill us because we're DC fans. so go for it. You've clearly watched the film, right?
I did. I actually downloaded it for my own entertainment because it's too long. I was not able to watch it on HBO Max. So yeah, back in 2017, I remember just saying that Justice League had it, but I think Avengers beat beat something, or I kind of forgot it, but he said that it should have been Justice League, not Avengers, in terms of story and at the same time the hype. So I did try to watch Justice League last 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hated how when Whedon really ruined the movie. It's like you have the characters, and
Okay.
they lack they lack the motivation on why did they do that. So it's kind of bad in my opinion. But when Snyder Cut was released, kind of liked it because you get the purpose of the character, why they do that. Especially when they show how Victor Cyborg how he helped people, his complicated relationship with his father was showed there was it gives him the human side of being cyborg, not just cyborg itself. So I love how they portray the two characters, cyborg and Flash. There, it gives you essence of the characters.
I think you're right, and I agree now. I think the fact that they were able to extend that backstory, not you're rightly so, not just about Cyborg, but about his dad and the relationship with his dad, and then there's also the link between who Victor works for and then the Flash, right? There's that link there that I guess will come out in further films. I think, for me, the biggest difference that I saw in the Snyder Cut was he stayed true to the comics, right? But it also had that dark edge. Now, whenever I look, and don't get me wrong, Crix, I love Marvel. I do, right? Marvel's a great story, great films, great comics. But I always feel that when I watch that film, it's always bright lights and go America and everything's always happy and jolly, right?
Yeah.
And I know, Infinity Wars and Endgame, there's a slightly, particularly Infinity Wars has a different ending to that, but majority of the stories are all rah, rah, rah. I have always thought that DC, the universe, the comics and Snyder, they're never scared to leave the dark in, right? They don't shy away from it. I think if you look at the way that the Justice League was shot versus how Endgame was shot, there's clearly a difference in how they use it cinematically. Because the Snyder cut, there's dark there, right? And I love the fact it doesn't shy away from it. From the Marvel universe, that I always feel like they are going to go, do you know what? We'll dangle a little bit of sadness here, but hey, don't worry about it. Right? Don't worry about it.
I agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because that Marvel is Disneyfied. So when they try to avoid death. At the same time, they are trying to market characters. And if you notice the ending of Infinity War, I was like, after the showing, I was like, okay, it's gonna be like Dragon Ball. Once, yeah, they kill the characters, and then hey, make them
All
alive
Alright,
again. Yeah.
right.
cool. Nice. So Jet, you're obviously got your ear to the ground, mate. What's the latest with the Snyder universe then? So we've obviously had the Justice League Snyder cut. What's kind of in the pipeline? Do you know? Have you got any rumblings? Because you're the man with your finger on the pulse. You can get leaked scripts.
The leaked script, I got it from my brother-in-law, who's a film director, who was handed it over to him.
Huh?
He knew, yeah, who handed it over to me. He's a local film director here, but since he has this, being in a group of creative directors, so they were talking about it, and he's also into comic books, and he
Need to
he
get
did he did tell me that the script was totally different. And I said, yeah, I know, but never saw the script. And he said, I have the script. So he sent it over to me. So but to answer your question, there's now fans clamoring for the entire Zack Snyder universe to push through, because he had the story arc that he had was well deep into 10 films.
really 10
Yeah,
films.
10 films. So
Okay.
we're supposed to get Flash, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter.
Of course, I'd forgotten
Y-
he was in it.
yeah. So he was. That's where it's going. In fact, uh, there's already a lot of even Shazam will be part of it. I don't know
I
if you've
forgot about
read.
I forgot
Yeah,
about Shazam as well, man. Oh, I'm crap today.
if you were able to read Kingdom Come by Alex Ross, I think it's going to go there, because like what you said, that DC's dark side, that's a equal amount of light and dark comic book, and there in Shazam has a key role there. I'm not going to give it away, but that's where Zack Snyder's looking into, and that's the rumor that we're heading. And then, since the the executives of Warner Brothers meddled in his plans
Yeah.
and wanted to come up with films to answer to Marvel, it was done real quick, real short, and so the quality suffered. So now this is because what's going to happen is, if the Snyder universe comes out, the winners will be the geeks. Even Marvel fans would be able to enjoy it. It's something. The story, like what you've said, the story of DC is totally different, and it has more depth than the Marvel ones.
I was hoping for a good Flashpoint storyline.
I think it's
Oh,
coming, right? I think it's coming.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's coming. And do you know what? I I think you can be a DC fan and a Marvel fan at the same time. I don't buy
I
into
agree.
the fact that you've got to have you've got to be in one camp, right? I really don't. And Jet, what I love about when I speak to you is, yes, we can geek out about football and we can have conversations about cycling, but when you peel back the layers of the comic book world for you, whether that's DC or Marvel or Star Wars or anything else that we've spoken about, your passion comes out instantaneously and it's infectious. And you're not just the person who kind of goes, yeah, well, I know this, and then doesn't, and then kind of steps it. You know, mate. So kudos to you. I love it. I could spend all day talking to you, but I just don't have the time, and I need to work. Unfortunately,
We both need to work. Well,
we both need to work. although, listen, if there's any sponsors out there who want us to do this all time, then please, we're
very
open.
We're open. Open arms.
We're open to those. Trix, I love the fact that you've come on, honestly, and I really hope that you continue to be part of this Geekish Khan as we move forward. I'll tell you what, when we did your panel 2 weeks ago, the amount of posts and the amount of likes we had was the highest we've ever had. So your fans are huge. You've got a very dedicated and committed fan base. So thank you very much for agreeing to come back. Are you? I know you're a big Marvel fan, but are you excited in terms of where the DC storyline potentially is going to go? Is that something that you'll continue to watch, or will you just go, look, I don't care how good it is, I'm Marvel through and through, cut me and I bleed Iron Man, I don't care?
Back then, I was really a big Marvel fan. I was hoping that DC movies will flop when I was like 13. But yeah, I was that savage. You know, when League of Extraordinary
Proper
Gentlemen.
savage. Yeah, I hope they fucking fail.
That was the early release, like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh,
I was a fan of Alan Moore, but I think it was really a missed opportunity. And don't even mention Catwoman. But
yeah. When actually, Crix, you make a good point. When you look back, DC haven't done themselves any favors, right? Catwoman and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen could have been awesome, but they flunked it. They flunked it, right?
They Americanized it. That's the problem. It's done by a British comic book writer. The comics was great, but when they tried to introduce who's that? The Huckleberry. I don't know that the.
it was Shane West, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
Is this a walk to remember?
A walk.
Now I get shivers.
And Dorian Gray, they missed it there. That's a do you know what? So frustrating.
Yep.
I mean, they had Sean Connery.
Sean Connery was there.
Yeah, I was there.
As Quartermaster, right? Alan Quartermaster.
Yeah.
I tell you which other franchise I think Hollywood missed out on, which has nothing to do with kind of the universe we're talking about, is Van Helsing.
Oh, yeah.
Because Hugh Jackman smashed that. That was a brilliant film. That was a brilliant film. And I think they just tried to cram too many villains into one film, right? And then they didn't jump on the back of that. I thought that was a big miss. Anyway, so I'm going to get this right one day. Crix, you're kind of moving to go, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where DC are going to go, or you go, do you know what, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it since I've read some of the comics like Flashpoint. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the animation part of the DC universe, especially Apocalypse. I love it. And I was hoping that DC will make it right this time because they are supposed to be the number one publisher and producer because they have good storylines. They're not just after the money. I mean, they're not Disneyfied yet. They're not afraid of death. They're not afraid of loss of a character. They're not afraid to show the darkness of some characters, which is a great contrast to Marvel. So I hope that DC will make it right this time, especially when Suicide Squad is about to release the
I
part
hope
two.
so.
Hoping that it will be a good one. Big expectations.
Yeah, and there's a link there. Peter Capaldi, who played Doctor Who, is the
Oh
Thinker
yeah.
in
Yeah, he's the
Suicide
thinker.
Squad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's good. Um,
Good.
before we end this, Jet, there's one comic that I don't know. You can't really call it a comic, a graphic novel that I sincerely hope DC bring to the cinema. Right, I'm not sure if they've done it animation. They may have done it. They may not because it's quite dark. But it's one of the few that you've really said, Paul. If you die tomorrow, this is the one you need to read. Right, and it's A Death in the Family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
I read it.
Yes.
Ah.
And
Yes.
I've just got goosebumps here just thinking about it because it's an amazing comic graphic novel, and it delves a little bit more into Batman's psyche and certainly the Joker psyche, right?
Yeah.
The and I forget. I think it's in the Lego, the Lego Batman, right? Where they kind of do it jokingly, but there's an element of truth in it where the Joker says to Batman, I can't cope without you. You can't cope without me. Like a relationship, right? And they do it very, very jokingly. But there's an element of truth in that statement where if Joker never existed, then yeah, exactly. Would Batman ever anyway? We're going to go down a route there that will take us about 6 years to solve. So, listen, guys, wonderful as always. This is the highlight of my week because currently my wife is in Taiwan for 6 months, so I've got nothing else. So I really look forward to this, guys. Crix, thank you so much for coming back. Yeah, please, come back next week. We'll change the time. We'll change the day for you. Just come back, Jet, have you got any thoughts about what we want to discuss next week? Anything comes to your mind, or even Crix? Anything you guys want to discuss?
No, we can discuss what you suggested a while ago, which is who's going to win against the DC Marvel
Oh my
heroes. I
god,
mean,
it's gonna be a long episode.
it is interesting.
So right, I will right. So this is what we'll do next week. I'll take the role of the mediator because Jet,
Oh no.
you're DC, and Crix, you're Marvel, right? This is what I want you to do between now and then. Select 10, not all of them, but just 10 superheroes or villains from the universe, right?
Okay.
And do them in a list of 1 to 10,
Oh.
right? 1 to 10, and not rank, just 1 to 10. Actually,
Okay.
that may take too long.
1 to
No,
5.
I think 1 to 5, 1 to 5, yeah, 1 to 5, right? They can be a hero or a villain, and then what we'll do is we'll go head to head. So Jet, you'll reveal your number 1, and then Crix, you'll reveal your number 1, and then we'll have to go through the pros and the cons, and we'll keep a running total. Five is actually better, Jet, because then it could be 2 each, and then we have to have a decider, right? Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. Crix, do me a favour. Go to your fan base because you've got a big fan
Oh,
base
no.
at
No.
IG and TikTok, and because you're about 25 years younger than me and Jet.
No. Take note,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
turning
true.
30 this month, so I'm old. I don't have that audience.
Early. Yeah.
30, yeah. 30,
Okay.
flirty for thriving.
30, man. I
Well,
was going to say I
it
remember when
was
I was 30.
yeah. It was a distant memory for us.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so let's do that. Let's kind of do some promotional stuff. Let's just go out to our bases and say, guys, please join us next week, right? Crix, let me know what time and day you can make it. Even if you guys need to leave it a week, we can do it the following week. That's fine. Just let me know. But this has been great. Crix, thank you so much for coming back. Jet, your knowledge, your enthusiasm, and your expertise, mate, is is a joy to be in the same room with. So thank you so much for giving up your time so freely. Guys, listeners, viewers, audience members, thank you so much. Follow these guys on social media. They rock jet bikes about every day, and his photos are immense. So yeah, follow these guys. But thank you very much, guys. Crix, Jet, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.